The Bears have now shifted their focus to free agency and the trade market after last night acquiring center Ryan Bates from the Buffalo Bills. And now the Bears have a little over $73 million in cap entering the next offseason and still have some big holes to fill. One of those holes being the defensive tackle position. And even though we have Andrew Billings, who had a fantastic year last year and signed a one-year contract extension, Gervon Dexter Sr, who had a hell of a second half of his rookie season, and Zacch Pickens, who still has a ton of untapped potential at the moment, and with new defensive coordinator Eric Washington coming into play, who is known for developing the defensive line and edges, this defensive line could be insanely dangerous next year with getting one more big name. It would be even better if the Chicago Bears bring in a proven young defensive tackle to be an instant impact, but could also even unlock more of what Eric Washington has to offer from this defensive line. There are two players that the Chicago Bears can get in free agency and are rumored to be very interesting in and opening up the checkbook for, and that is defensive tackle Christian Wilkins from Miami and Justin Madubuike from the Baltimore Ravens. Both guys have been awesome in the league so far, and I'd love to see either of them come to the Chicago Bears on good contracts next year, and we'll see what Ryan Poles does. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Dick Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. I am going to break down both players and what they have to bring to the table and who has a good chance of landing with the Chicago Bears this offseason and could be a part of this team for a long future moving forward. And before I begin today's show, if you want the Chicago Bears to be aggressive in free agency and would like Wilkins or Madubuike, hit that like button on this video to show Bears Nation's excitement for how aggressive Ryan Poles in the front office is being this offseason. Comment which one you would take in free agency, or as always, write a bear down below. So let's start off with Christian Wilkins from the Miami Dolphins as the big target that the Chicago Bears can go out and get. The 27-year-old is 6'4", 310 pounds and plays defensive tackle, obviously. 5 years in the league, all being with the Miami Dolphins, and has not won a single award. No Pro Bowl, no All-Pro, no Defensive Player of the Year voting, nothing, which kind of shocks me with how impressive this guy's stats are. In his career, he has 20 and a half sacks, 355 total tackles, 43 tackles for loss, 50 quarterback hits, 19 pass deflections, 4 forced fumbles, 6 fumble returns, and 1 interception. For a defensive lineman, those stats are pretty insane. And this year alone, he had almost half those sacks with 9 sacks this past year for the Miami Dolphins, 65 total tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 23 quarterback hits. Again, he had 50 in total in 5 years. Almost half came this past season. 2 pass deflections and 2 fumble recoveries. Really good stuff here, especially from a defensive tackle. And defensive tackles don't get a lot of sacks. This guy got 9 himself on that very good Miami front 7. Imagine him and Montez Sweat and then getting another edge in the upcoming draft class would be out of this world and made one of the meanest defensive lines in football. So let's break down his highlights a little bit. Starting off with his hand movement backfield, but also there's runs up the middle. He's able to get away from his opponent and run right into the ball carrier and stop the run. This guy's speed is unmatched. Not only is he good with swatting away offensive linemen, but his first step speed is crazy good. He blows past defenders at ease, creating pressure a lot of the time, whether it's just getting to the backfield, not even hitting the quarterback, but making opportunities for himself and his teammates. And then finally, his strength is in great shape, and he knows how to get to the backfield. Currently projected to make $23 million a year as a defensive tackle. Pretty crazy. On top of it, you have to pay Jalen Johnson, whether it's the tag or on a long-term contract. That's another $20 million. So you're wrapped up in $43 million already. And after the Bears bring in Ryan Bates, that leaves them with only $33.5 million left in cap. I'm sure they're going to restructure some contracts. They're going to find some money elsewhere. But overall, you also only have 5 picks at the moment. So the Bears might not go super investor heavy in a position, just one position, but you never know. If the Bears do trade back that number 1 pick, it opens up the opportunity to bring in a guy like Wilkins. Now let's go to Justin. He is an unbelievable defensive tackle, had honestly one of the best defensive tackle seasons we've had in a while. A total breakout year for him this past year with the Baltimore Ravens. He's only 26 years old, stands at 6'3", 305 pounds, and has been in the league for 4 years. He was voted to his first Pro Bowl this year, his second team All-Pro vote this year, and was 9th in Defensive Player of the Year voting according to fans. That all happened in 23, nothing before that year, but again, a monster year for the guy, of course, in a contract year. In total in his career, he has 21.5 sacks, 153 total tackles, 29 tackles for loss, 49 quarterback hits, 5 pass deflections, and 1 forced fumble. For a defensive lineman, that's pretty insane. In this year alone, he had 13.5 sacks, 56 total tackles, 12 tackles for loss, and 33 quarterback hits. This guy had a monster year for the Ravens, was a huge reason for their success. Really wasn't known till this past year, and he started to be on the come up last year where he had 5 sacks, but overall, young guy, breakout season, is going to be hungry for more and looking for the bag. This guy flat out flies though. His speed is incredible. He has literally made a tackle on the ball carrier while tracking him all the way for the backfield, as you see here. Not only that, he is able to throw guys while keeping his eye on the ball, which allows him to be a threat at any moment and great at shaking off defenders. And then, of course, the pressure he brings. Super high motor, rushes so fast at the quarterback, and is a monster of a player to bring into this defense. Right now, projected a 4-year, $81 million contract, so about $20.25 million a season. Again, paying Jalen Johnson, bringing him in, leaves you at about $40.25 million, and that leaves you with about a little bit more than, let's just say, 34 million in a season. Again, not bad, but he's definitely cheaper than Wilkins. But one thing about this, though, in my overall thoughts, is that Wilkins is much, much more established. And that's what I would want the Bears to bring in. Yes, he's a slight bit older, but overall, a fantastic player, shows consistency, always on the field, never injured. The $3 million more is definitely worth it to me. So I would bring him in, but I'd be fine with either guy coming to the Chicago Bears. Free agency is heating up. Please hit that subscribe button. We're going to have all the news here for you guys. Trades, free agency, you name it. We got it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Help us hit 14,000 before March 13th. Thank you, as always, for tuning in this episode of Just Another Year Chicago, guys. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, bear down, baby.